Alright, everybody. I didn't do the hi because I'm not in front of the camera. So sorry to disappoint you. Anyway, well, welcome back, everybody. This will be part 2 of the 2025 DVD and Blu-Ray collection overview extravaganza, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Here we are. So this time, well, we're going to start here. We should be able to get through here, maybe this shelf. That's the goal, is to do that. So we'll just go ahead and get rocking and rolling, and we'll do it. So let's do it. Instead of talking about, well, let's talk about this, but you know what I mean. Alright, first up we have the Evil Dead trilogy. So there we go. So we have a nice little steel book of the first movie. But the problem is, this doesn't have all the extra features from the DVD. Actually, all of the Blu-rays worldwide, because I looked it up, don't have all the extra features from the various DVD releases over the years of Evil Dead, which, once more, Anchor Bay, Stars, whoever, still has the rights to it. Same company has owned Evil Dead forever, and they still cannot put all the features together on any of the releases. Maybe next year, for the 45th anniversary, they'll get their fucking head out of their ass and we'll do that, which is why I have the, we'll get to it later, but I still have the old Ultimate Edition DVD because none of those features made it to that Blu-ray. And the Evil Dead movies are all owned by different people, which is why in America, at least, there's never been a box set. Overseas they did one, but here in America they never did. And then we have the 25th anniversary of Evil Dead 2, which I got this, what, 2013? Yeah, this was like even before I started getting heavy into Blu-ray, because this one actually has all the extras. I know, go figure. Wow, Lionsgate did something right. But yeah, this version has new extra features, and then it has all the old ones. So Lionsgate did it right, at least for that movie. Other movies, not so much. Looking at you, Lionsgate, for fucking Highlander. We went over that in the last part. 1 and 2. So there you go. And then we have the Shout Factory. Anybody remember Shout Factory? Army of Darkness. Hey, that's never not going to be funny because they did it to themselves. But this has all the extra features from the DVD releases, and then it has, I think, 4 versions of the movie, which is awesome. So there, is it 4 or? Yeah, it's the theatrical cut, the director's cut, the international cut, and the TV cut. So there you go. And then this was the. Where does it tell you? I think it's on the disc. Yeah, it is. Because when they released this, they fucked it up because it's Shout Factory. So there you go. But this is the corrected edition. Because on the disc, if you look at the catalog number, it says version 2 on there. So there's that. So there we go with Evil Dead. Again, with the first movie, Anchor Bay or whoever owns it now, Stars, whoever, get your fucking heads out of your asses and do a proper, I think it's on 4K, but I think even the 4K doesn't have all the extra features. What are you doing? Like, for fuck's sake, people, this isn't difficult. Anyway, moving on. Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2, which are the only 2 that I've ever seen, so there's that. And I actually have always quite liked both of these. So, and these are both from Shout Factory. So we have the original, which 99% of the music is on here. There's one song that the artist did not want to sign off on, and then yeah, it did get. I tried to fix it with tape, but it didn't really work. It's okay. There's one song that's missing because, again, that particular artist didn't want to give them the clearances. But this has, again, all the extra features from the DVD that I had way back when, and new extra features. And I think the work print is on here as well, if I'm not mistaken. It is, yeah, because that was a work print that was out there for years, trying to find it, and then Shout Factory is like, yeah, we're putting the work print on our release. I'm like, okay. And I know that, I think Arrow just did a 4K of Return of the Living Dead, but I don't think it had any new extra features, so I'm not interested. Look, I don't need every movie in 4K, okay? The people that do that, the people that have to buy everything in 4K, no, I buy it because I like the movie. I buy it because of the features. I'm not upgrading everything to 4K just for slightly better picture quality for movies that came out 40 years ago. I'm not doing it, so not getting on that bandwagon. And then we have the sequel/remake, Return of the Living Dead Part 2 sequel remake. Oh shit, just kind of like Evil Dead 2. There you go, great double feature. You could do, actually, you could do a quadruple feature. You could do Evil Dead 1 and 2, and then Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2. And you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I'm kidding, obviously, just a joke. But always thought this was fun. And I like that it has more comedy in it and stuff like that. You know, they went for a different approach to it. And this has all the original music as well, because the DVD did not. I had the DVD way back when, and you could tell what was supposed to be there musically and what was not supposed to be there. So there you go. So there's that. Excuse me, sorry. Then we have Long Kiss Goodnight. I actually do want to get the 4K of this because it has new extra features. I just don't have it right now. So there's that. And I don't even have a 4K player. So I have 4Ks. Like, I bought the Dawn of the Dead box set because I saw it at Monster Mania, and I said fuck it, because if I don't get it, somebody else will, and then I'll be kicking myself in the ass. I bought True Romance on 4K, and I didn't realize it was 4K till I got home. It's not that big of a deal. So I think maybe for Christmas this year, I'm going to buy myself, a Christmas gift for myself, a 4K player, so I can finally watch some of these movies. Not that it matters, because I have Dawn of the Dead on DVD and VHS, and I have True Romance on VHS, so it's not like, again, I buy it for the movie. I don't buy it for the format. So if I really need to watch either movie, I have them on other formats. So there's that. And then we have another Shane Black movie, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which I actually quite like this one. I remember renting the DVD when it first came out, because it only came out in limited markets in theaters, so it was basically straight to DVD for a lot of people. But I did dig this movie, so I can't complain. And then we have Jurassic Park, which none of the Blu-rays really look good for Jurassic Park because they keep fucking with the color grading, which I hate. And I'm surprised, like, this is only, I mean, it's got a bunch of features, but I am surprised that they've never done a super duper top of the line special edition of Jurassic Park. And Universal will not sub-license it because it's probably their most profitable franchise at this point. They keep making shitty Jurassic Park movies because there's only 2 good ones. And ain't nobody getting Jurassic Park. That much I do know, unless somebody dies or something. You know what I mean? I mean, could you imagine like Arrow doing Jurassic Park? Or Criterion even? Like, they would kill it, but it's not going to happen because they're not, you could forget about it. They're not going to sub-license it. And then we have the only other good Jurassic Park movie, at least in my book, Jurassic Park 3, which I've always liked this movie. I saw it when it first came out on video. I didn't see it in the theater. But those are the only good ones. Then we have, speaking of movies that need upgraded special editions, at least in my book, Falling Down is next. Black Rain. the other Michael Douglas movie in my hand. But love Black Rain. And like I said, I don't know why this one has never gotten a upgraded super duper version. It deserves it, at least in my opinion, because it's my favorite Ridley Scott film. Oh my god, I know, I didn't say Alien. I didn't say Blade Runner. And it's my favorite Michael Douglas movie. And then we can follow that up with this, Falling Down. I like when Warner Brothers actually gave a shit about physical media. Because they, like, Blu-rays, they did these nice digibooks for Blu-rays. You'll see them over there. But they did really nice special edition DVDs. Like, this is really nice. I really like the presentation on this. Oh, sorry. But yeah, you know, there's the lovely Barbara Hershey. So, yeah, I liked when they actually gave a fuck about physical media. Now, again, the Saudis are probably going to buy them. That's what we need. So there's that. Saudis are going to buy WWE. They're going to buy fucking Warner Brothers. Can't wait. Can't wait, folks. Then they're going to kill us all. They're going to blow us all up. We're all going to die because we made fun of their turbans or something. I don't know. I ain't wearing no fucking turban. Anyway, let's get back to positive things. Like, hell comes to Frogtown. So, there you go. I don't care. This movie's so wacky. It's so goofy. I think there's an there is an interview with Roddy Piper. This is the Arrow release. So you can't go wrong. Just goofy fun. I like movies like that, as you know. But apparently that's all I watch is just shellac, according to some of the retards on the internet. But oh well. Anyway, Night of the Creeps. Love that artwork. One of my all-time favorites, to be honest. I think this one had the I have the alternate slipcover somewhere else, because when I bought this, it came with the other slipcover. It came with the toy that I had behind me. So there you go. But one of my favorite 80s horror movies. It always was. And then I have the Olive Films release of Monster Squad. I do love that artwork. I always thought that was cool. But Olive Films was infamous for never putting extra features on any of their releases. So definitely need to upgrade. But we'll do that in due time. Not that I need to, because once more I have it on DVD still, which we'll cover that when we get to it. And I have it on VHS and I have it on Laserdisc, so I think I'm covered with the Monster Squad. There we go. And then we have this pretty cool steelbook of Karate Kid. I always liked that with the Cobra Kai on there. And it's starting to rust because, again, I don't know what the obsession is with people in steelbooks. I mean, they look cool, but they rust. They're going to rust. No matter what you do, steel over time will rust. I don't know why that's so difficult for people to understand. And we got Karate Kid 2, which was always my favorite. Even, like, especially as a kid growing up, this was the one that, if it was on TV, I would always watch it, no matter what, you know. So there's that. And then for whatever reason, I don't know why, Sony did not release, I think now they have, but for the longest time, they did not release Karate Kid 3 and the next Karate Kid on Blu-ray. So Mill Creek did this double feature. And I only really got it for the next Karate Kid. Karate Kid 3, it's one of those movies that as a kid I liked it, but as I've gotten older, I like it less and less and less with each viewing. It has its bright spots, but Karate Kid 3 was not a good movie. Ralph Macchio, when I met him, told me that himself. He said one of the reasons why he wanted to do Cobra Kai was because he wanted to make up for the fact that Karate Kid 3 was terrible. And I said, oh, I see that. I said, but at least you got paid. And he started laughing. He goes, yeah. He goes, you should see the house that I bought with my Karate Kid 3 paycheck. He said, I still live in it. I'm like, there you go. Good for, oh shit. Good for Ralph Macchio. Oh, Christ almighty. He's one of the good guys, as far as I'm concerned. But Karate Kid 3 was terrible. But next Karate Kid, honestly, that was the one that I watched the most as a kid because I had it on a VHS. I had it on a recorded VHS. And Hilary Swank is a babe, so there's that. I've always had a crush on her. Anyway, moving on. We got some Mike Myers here. We got Wayne's World 1 and 2. This was originally a Walmart exclusive, and now they're on 4K and stuff. But again, I love Wayne's World. Do I need Wayne's World on 4K? No, especially when there's no new extra features. So I'll stick with Blu-ray. Again, I love Wayne's World. I don't need them on 4K. I'll get over it. And then we have So I Married an Axe Murderer, which is my favorite Mike Myers movie, and it's not a special edition as it claims to be. There are literally, and I hate to use this word because everybody uses it, but there are literally no extra features. I don't even think that there is a trailer on here. So I don't know why they did that. I think that they just ported it from the DVD, and the DVD had nothing on it. There is literally zero extra features. But this movie deserves it. Is Sony going to sub-license it? Probably not, but because they have a problem doing that with their catalog titles for some reason. Unless it's, you can see it up there, unless it's something like Hudson Hawk. So there you go. I don't know, maybe. But we'll see. And then we have the Austin Powers trilogy. Now this is the Canadian release because the American release just took the discs and put them in one package, but here in Canada they did this nice little box, and you got Dr. Evil on one side and then you got Austin on the other, and then each disc is in its own case. Like I said, in America they just put all 3 discs in one case. I couldn't think of the word for a second there, which is why I use a substitute. So a little bit nicer presentation for the Canadian release here, but all the extras and everything are the same. So there, and also that's another franchise. I guess Warner Brothers has that hostage as well. That's another franchise where I don't understand why they've never done an updated box set or whatever with new extra features and such, because they're still very popular movies, and I love the Austin Powers films. That's just me. Then we got a couple Karate Kid. Speaking of Karate Kid, we got a couple Karate Kid knockoffs, which I do have a soft spot, if I do say so myself, for a Karate Kid knockoff. Whether they're good or bad or somewhere in between, you know, I do enjoy them. But this one I actually really like. Showdown, I've always kind of dug this one because you got Billy Blanks, #1, and then you got on the left Ken Scott from Ninja Turtles. He played Raphael in the suit in the first 2 Ninja Turtle movies. Very nice guy. I've spoken to him numerous times over the years on Facebook, but very cool dude. And they're both on the extra features here, which is cool. And then Patrick Kilpatrick plays the villain, and the guy that directed Best of the Best 1 and 2 directed this. But I've always enjoyed this, and I think it was Imperial Entertainment. They did Lionheart and some other movies, but this is when MVD was knocking out a lot of these movies. They stopped, and then now they're doing knockoff with Van Damme. So I might pick that release up, I don't know. But they were knocking them out for a little bit and they just stopped doing them, so I don't know what happened. Then we have one that's kind of in between. Never Back Down. Hey, look, Amber Turd. Fuck you, cunt. Anyway, it's okay. You know, it's more MMA. But Eric Paulson was actually the fight choreographer. If you don't know who Eric Paulson is, shame on you. But he was the fight choreographer, so I do have a little bit of a soft spot for that reason. So there you go. Again, if you do not know who Eric Paulson is and you are a fan of martial arts, shame on you, because you should know who he is. So there's that. And then we got the last top stack here. And then starting off with another one of my favorite 80s horror films, sci-fi horror, whatever, Night of the Comet. The whole world is falling apart, or whatever the... No, what's the fucking word? The whole world is Watch it. I don't know. Anyway, but that song I particularly liked on the soundtrack. So there you go. But this is another one of those movies that was constantly on television when I was a kid. So I would watch it every time it was on, and it was again on all the time. And yes, I still have a crush on Catherine Mary Stewart because she's a babe. So there's that. Whether it's this movie or The Last Starfighter, there you go. And then we have The Sicilian, which is, the book is set in the same universe as The Godfather, but for the obvious reasons they could not use any of the Godfather character names and stuff in this. But this is a good movie. But this is the kind of movie that you have to be in the right mood to want to watch, because it is, what, like 2.5 hours? Yeah. And there are parts where it gets really slow, but there's some really good performances, and I am a sucker for anything with Christopher Lambert. Blame Highlander, blame Mortal Kombat. There you go. Then we have Wedding Crashers. I know a lot of people do not like this movie, and that's fine. I do. I've always enjoyed it. But that's just me. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there that just don't like Wedding Crashers, and I get it. Again, to each his own. I understand. You know, if you like a movie, great. If you don't like a movie, that's great too. You're allowed to do that. I don't know why we're getting so upset about people not liking certain movies. Sometimes I don't get it. Like Predator 2, like all these people. Predator 2 is awful and it's terrible. Is it though? Because it's not. But Under Siege 2. All these people are hating on Under Siege 2. So some I don't understand, but you know, there's plenty of movies I don't like. There's plenty of movies you like or you don't like. You don't have to get fucking retarded about it, people. I know people would get mad and, you know, especially like the last couple months that I was here on YouTube, when I was especially doing all those Marvel films, like people were getting so fucking upset that I didn't like a movie and I didn't like this and I didn't like that. Okay, well, why do you care? Do you like it? Okay, well then shut the fuck up and watch it. Leave me alone. I don't have to like everything that comes out. You don't like everything that comes out. Get over it. It's the fucking world we live in. You all know this. Benchwarmers. Always. This is another one I know a lot of people don't like. I do. I've always liked this movie, so I can't complain. Now, I do have the first one. It's up with the box sets, because I did get the box set, but we have Blade Runner 2049. This is another, I'm seeing a trend here. This is another movie that I know a lot of people shit on when it came out, and they don't like. I actually really like this. I thought that this was one of the legacy sequels, as the kids call them, that actually did it right, and Deckard got a happy ending and finally put to bed all those. Deckard is a replicant. No, Deckard is not a replicant, because if he was a replicant, the fucking story wouldn't make any sense. So there's that. Anyway. But the book, you didn't read the fucking book. I did, okay? He's not a fucking replicant. You're an idiot. Anyway. But I really enjoyed this. Unfortunately, it was a huge flop when it came out. It is a little too long. It's over 2.5 hours, so it could have definitely been cut. But I actually really like this movie, and this is the Steel Book. So there's that. And then we got another Steel Book here. A movie that I feel that everyone should have in their collection, at least just in my opinion, but we have RoboCop. This is the old MGM release, because the vintage extras from when the movie came out, for whatever reason, I don't know why, Arrow couldn't get them, so that's why I kept this one. But I always really liked this design. I thought that was a really cool design for the Steelbook. I think I got this for I got this super cheap. I think like $5 or something. I found it on eBay. I guess I caught it at the right time. But I found this for like $5. I can't complain. And then we have the Arrow release, which is one of my favorite Arrow releases, to be honest. Even now, like, this is out of print, but this is the super duper version that's got both cuts. I think the TV cut's on here too. It is. I love your boss is I don't know why they cut it out, but he says in the theatrical version, whatever, he says slime bag. I don't know why they cut out slime bag for TV. You know, your boss is scumbag, whatever. Your boss is a crumb bag. What? That doesn't make any fucking sense. But I miss these old TV edits because they don't do that anymore. They don't edit movies for TV. They just mute everything or they show it uncut. Back in the day, before some of you were born, I feel like an old man now, but you know, they actually used to edit movies for television and they were fun. Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. Need I say more? So there you go. But again, still one of my all-time favorite releases from Arrow because it's fucking RoboCop. So there you go. And then we have RoboCop 2. I've always liked RoboCop 2. This is another movie that people just hate for whatever reason. But I always liked RoboCop 2. Is it as good as the first movie? No, of course not. But it's a fun sequel. Then we have this piece of shit. And people, why do you have RoboCop 3? Because there's extra features. Like, there's an interview with Nancy Allen on here. Okay? I care about what she has to say. There's a commentary with Fred Decker, which is weird because that's where he said, you know, one of the ideas that he had was to turn the OCP building into a fucking transformer, and I'm like, that's dumb. But yeah, there's an interview with Nancy Allen. There's an interview with Felton Perry, who was I forget his name in the movie, but he was the guy that worked for OCP. He also was Dirty Harry's partner in Magnum Force. Like Phil Tippett gets interviewed, so there's extra features that I actually am curious to hear about. If I never watch RoboCop 3 ever again, I think I'll be fine. And it's weird because when I was a kid, RoboCop 1 and 3 were the ones that were always on TV. I didn't see RoboCop 2 till later because it was never on cable or whatever. But I used to watch the shit out of RoboCop 1 and 3. As a child. And as a kid, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, RoboCop's got a jetpack, and he's got a gun arm. And as an adult, I'm like, no, like, this is not, he's fighting robot ninjas. Like, this is cool, because I was a kid, and RoboCop 3 is a fucking kid's movie, and RoboCop is not supposed to be a kid's movie, but somebody did not get the fucking memo. So there you go. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Alright, so now we're going to get into the rest of the row here. We should be able to get through this, and then maybe here. Maybe, okay. No. I'm going to do, this will get done. Then I'll try to do Bronson, and then maybe these. That'll be part 2, and then part 3 will work on that stuff. But if I quit doing this and start doing this, it'll work. So let's do... Yeah, let's start here. Oh God, my ass hurts. Shoot 'em up. I love this movie. This is fun. I wish they made more movies like this. And hopefully one day somebody like Arrow will get this. Do a super duper deluxe, but... Shoot 'em up. I wish they made more movies like this, especially in today's world where everybody's a fucking pussy. We need more movies like Shoot 'em up. And then we have Fletch. I do want to get the Kino release because there's more extra features, but Fletch, one of my all-time favorite comedies. And also, I say this is my favorite Chevy Chase movie. As an actor, I love Chevy Chase. As a person, fuck no, because he's a dick. But as an actor, I was always a huge Chevy Chase fan, and this is probably my favorite movie. Yes, I know. I didn't say Christmas Vacation. Oh no, the world is going to end because I didn't say Christmas. Hell, I even like Cops and Robertsons. That's just me. But, Man of the House I really liked as well. I need to get that on Blu-ray. I think I only have that on VHS and Laserdisc. But we'll get to VHS and Laserdisc down the road. Next up we have The Flamingo Kid, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the first movie to be... No. Yes, this is the first movie to get the PG-13 rating, but it was not the first movie released with the PG-13 rating because for whatever reason it was delayed. But this is the first PG-13 movie, so there you go. But I love this movie. This is a movie that my dad used to watch all the time when I was a kid, and I would watch it with him, and I've gone on to watch it quite a bit myself, as the kids say, or whatever, or as Norman Osborn says. But I love Flamingo Kid, and I would love it because it's got, I think, a commentary. Yeah, it's got a commentary with one of the actors, I think, in the movie. But Matt Dillon, what are you doing, man? Come on, do a commentary for Flamingo Kid. So there's that. Then we have Camp Nowhere, which was one of the seemingly endless movies that was coming out in the 90s about summer camps, because Heavyweights was the year after this. There was a bunch that were coming out, and Disney, because this is a Disney movie, Disney was putting out a bunch of these, but I always liked this one. Yeah, Christopher Lloyd, fuck yes, is the selling point. Tom Wilson is in it, Biff, so you got a reunion there. M. Emmett Walsh, may he rest in peace. A bunch of Star Trek people are in this movie. I would love to know how that happened, because Jonathan Frakes is in it, Kate Mulgrew's in it. I would love to know how all these Star Trek people ended. Christopher Lloyd, he was in Search for Spock, so there you go. But I'd love to know that story. How did all the Star Trek people end up in Camp Nowhere? But always liked this movie. I remember as a kid, it was always on TV. I remember I was sleeping over. We're not friends anymore for many reasons. But there was a kid that I used to be friends with. I remember sleeping over at his house one night, and we watched this because it was on TV. I was like, this is cool. But that guy's fucking retarded. So, he is a psychotic asshole. And I don't hang out. I'm the only one that's allowed to be psychotic, okay? So there's that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, we got Crybaby, which I want to get the Kino release because it's got both cuts of the movie, because this is only the theatrical cut. Yeah. And it's got all the features from this and new extra features. And this is my favorite John Waters movie. It was shot in Baltimore. A lot of the areas, actually not all of it, there was a lot of stuff actually shot in LA for some reason on this movie, but a good chunk of this was shot in Baltimore. And it's where I grew up, like Enchanted Forest, which was a theme park that was closed. They shot there. I think the lake scenes, I think those were shot at Loch Raven. I used to go there when I was a kid a lot. So, yeah, I think the prison scenes was one of the schools downtown that they turned into. I think, if I'm not mistaken, like a lot of the places where this movie was shot is where I grew up. So there you go. But I've always loved it. I guess it's a Baltimore thing too. But this movie's weird. It's zany. It's quirky. I can't complain. And I think this is the first movie that Tracy Lords did, because she was still like on the blacklist at the time. Because she did porn when she was underage, which I don't agree with. But I think this was like the first movie that she did. John Waters like took a chance on her, and after that, her phone couldn't stop ringing. Everybody wanted to work with her. It was weird. But Crybaby is a classic. It's a Baltimore classic. So there you go. And I did not mean to bump the tripod. My bad. Then we have The Accountant. I actually quite like this. I did not see the second one. I heard mixed things about it, but I quite enjoyed the first one, to be honest. So there you go. Then we have Hoffa, great movie, but this is another movie that you got to be in the right mood to watch, because it's 2.5 hours, and there is parts of the movie where it gets kind of boring. I keep bumping the fucking tripod, my bad, and you've got to pay attention. But there's an amazing cast in the film, and this was also Danny DeVito's directorial debut. And again, this is when Fox was still Fox, and they did these filmmaker signature Blu-rays. I think French Connection got one, and they had a bunch of extras and everything. You know, not now, because the fucking mouse owns it, and the mouse is a fucking piece of shit, so there you go. Then we have The Outsiders, the complete novel, which is the only version I watch. The only time I've only seen the theatrical cut of this movie twice. When I was when I was in middle school, we read the book and then we watched the movie, and then I had the VHS. But this is the version that should have came out. This version is so much better. It's more faithful to the book, and it's the only version that I watched. So there you go. And then this is another movie where I don't know if it's on 4K. I doubt that it is. But this is another film where I don't understand, like there is extra features, but why they've never done a super duper dressed to the nines deluxe edition. I mean, the only guy that they would not be able to get for an interview is probably Tom Cruise. Patrick Swayze, because he's dead. But everybody else, they do interviews. It ain't like they're fucking doing anything, but Tom Cruise, I don't know, maybe Tom Cruise would want to talk about it. But you know, it is what it is, I suppose. But again, I'm surprised that they have never done a upgraded, super duper deluxe special version of The Outsiders, because at least in my book, it deserves it. Oh, that's just how I feel. Yeah, and I know I'm going to rearrange these on the shelf anyway, so I don't know why I'm make sure they're in the right order. No, I don't do that. And that's the other thing I forgot to mention. As you have clearly seen, I don't really have all these in a specific order. Yeah, I'll do an actor, as you know, or maybe a franchise or something. But they're just kind of, that's just kind of how I like to do it. I like them just kind of random on the shelf. You know, you never, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So there you go. So we got, if they want to behave, we got the Ninja Turtle, the only good Ninja Turtle movies as far as I'm concerned. Unfortunately, there's more bad Ninja Turtles movies than there is good. So we have the first 1990 classic live action movie. This is the German release, because before Arrow, this was the only version that had extra features, and the commentary on here is different from the commentary on the Arrow release, so I will be keeping this. And then it has the original ending on here as well. But yeah, I had, actually, way back, I think when I first started here on YouTube, I had this one on DVD. I ordered it off of eBay, and I had the German DVD, and then they came out on Blu-ray, and I picked them up on Blu-ray. But I'm still keeping these because the commentaries are different. Then we got Secret of the Ooze, which this also has the behind the shells from back in the day, which will be on the Arrow release. I guess they couldn't get the rights to the commentary tracks. But that's okay. I don't mind having the live action Ninja Turtles on multiple Blu-ray releases. So there's that. And then we have Turtles 3. And I like that they actually just call it Turtles 3, because that's what it's called, not Turtles in Time. I don't know where that came from. Turtles in Time is a video game. So there you go. And I think this just has the director's commentary, which is, you know, cool. And like I said, the Arrow releases are going to have different commentaries, so, you know, it's no big deal. And then we have the 2007 CG movie, which I like this. Yeah, I keep bumping the damn It has its problems, don't get me wrong, but I do like this movie. I can't complain. I actually still have the DVD of it, which we'll cover that when we get to it. But I'm also surprised they've never done an upgraded. Well, it's because the movie didn't really do well when it came out. But I like that movie. It's not perfect. I have problems with it, but it was it was a good Ninja Turtles film. Like I said, I think there's more bad ones than good ones, because everything that's come out after Turtles Forever was shit. Whether it was the Michael Bay films or Mutant Mayhem, or the TV shows. Like, I know so many people got butthurt because I don't like the fucking 2012 cartoon. Well, you know, you don't like the 80s cartoon, so kiss my black ass. So why? Whether it's me or it's Matt or Mike or whoever, why is it when we, I say that again collectively, when we don't like something, people get upset? Oh, how can you not? Well, isn't there shit that you don't like? Well, yeah, but that's different. No, it's not, you stupid fuck. So I just could never wrap my head around that. If I like it, it's okay. If you don't like it, it's a problem. No, it's not. You're just a fucking idiot. So there you go. Anyway, moving on. One of my all-time favorite movies. This is another one. I don't understand. Well, it's Disney, so I don't understand why this movie has never gotten a super duper deluxe Blu-ray, and that's The Sandlot. I just don't understand. Like, it has some stuff from back in the day. They did a documentary a couple years ago for the 30th anniversary. I was never able to find it online, but that documentary had behind the scenes footage in it that I had never seen before. I wasn't going to pay, I think it was like $800 or something. Somebody just bought the work print VHS of it and put some stuff here on YouTube. And it's a classic in every sense of the word, but yet there's never been a super duper deluxe Blu-ray. It's the fucking Sandlot. Like, I don't understand that at all. It's just me. Got the big hit, fun 90s action comedy. Always really enjoyed this movie. One of my best friends, who's been one of my best friends my entire life. We're still very good friends. He introduced this movie to me. This is a movie that we would watch all the time when we were kids because I think his mom had it on VHS or something. But this is one that we'd watch nonstop. Just fun 90s action comedy. John Woo and Wesley Snipes actually produced this, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I wish that this got a better edition. That's just me. But very fun. And one of my favorite Mark Wahlberg movies. And Lou Diamond Phillips plays a batshit insane villain, and when I met him, we talked about this movie, and he spoke very glowingly of it. He said it was one of his favorite movies that he did because he got to play just a wacky villain, and we both kind of geeked out over this movie, which is cool. And my buddy, he was like, "Did you ask him about the big hit?" I'm like, "Of course I did. Like, why would I not?" So there you go. And then another Mark Wahlberg. I was just never big on Mark Wahlberg. I don't know why. As a kid, I never was, because first of all, he was in every fucking movie as a kid, so it got annoying. But I was never big on him. But there are movies that he has done that I have enjoyed, like the one that I just talked about, and this one. The Italian Job remake. This is actually one of the better remakes as far as I'm concerned. I've always really enjoyed this movie. I first saw it when it came out on VHS back in the day, and still have always really enjoyed it. Solid cast. I was really excited when this came out because Jason Statham was in it, and The Transporter had just come out, and I really like that film. And Seth Green is in there, and Edward Norton, who I've always loved, Donald Sutherland. So, in my opinion, this is one of the better remakes out there, as far as I'm concerned. And that was before Charlize Theron was fucking retarded, so there you go. And she was still hot, so there's that. And then we got some more Marky Mark double feature of Shooter and Four Brothers. Four Brothers, I've always really enjoyed. I remember when that first came out on DVD, my mom borrowed it from a lady that she worked with, and I watched it like 5 times before we gave it. I really enjoy Four Brothers. Now, yes, it's a remake of the John Wayne movie Sons of Katie Elder, which I do like. But I do like that film. And Shooter, not the greatest movie, but I like it. I think Antoine Fuqua directed it, who I really like as a director, so I can't go wrong, at least in my book. And then we got some Robin Williams here. Hook. I love Hook. Again, why there has never been a super duper deluxe Blu-ray of this is beyond me. It probably won't happen because Spielberg doesn't like the movie, but I love Hook. My favorite Peter Pan film. Get over it. And then we have Mrs. Doubtfire. Yes, my favorite Robin Williams movie because they just let him go. They just let him do his thing. Classic movie, and we miss you, Robin. We all miss you. That's I think one thing that we can all agree on as a species of humanity is that we all miss Robin Williams, and then we have Jumanji. I love Jumanji. This was a movie that I still have the VHS from when I was a kid. Cannot get enough of this movie. I think this was the 20th anniversary edition, which had some new extra features put on here, which is very cool. But I always love this movie. I don't give a fuck about the ones with The Rock. There's only one Jumanji. It's with Robin Williams. So there you go. And then look at that sneak peek. I don't give a fuck. Okay, this is the only Jumanji that matters, bitches. So, did they put? I can't remember if they put this back in the theater last year or not for the 30th anniversary. No, it would be this year because it was '95. They did not put this in the theaters this year. They should have done that because I would have went and saw it. So there you go, you fuckers. Come on, Sony, you put other movies back in. Why didn't you put Spider-Man back in? Why didn't you put fucking Jumanji? Sorry. I love Jumanji. You know this. Alright. Let's get going here. We'll do this. There we go. Oh, Jesus. Again, it doesn't matter because I'm going to rearrange it anyway. Oh. Yeah, you know what? We'll do this. And then we'll flip it. We got Madagascar. I actually really like this. I really like I never saw any of the sequels. But I saw this when it first came out on DVD, and it's fun. You know, it's still to this day. I think this. When did this come out? 2005. So 20 years ago. But yeah, I first saw this when it came out on DVD, and I still like it. It's fun. It's funny. I like this movie. So there you go. Like I said, never watched any of the sequels, but the first one is still hilarious to me. We watched it, I want to say maybe about a year ago. Because me and my brother, we watched it with my mom. Because my mom had never seen it, and she really liked it. We got Sleepers. Great movie. Amazing cast. Fucked up movie, if you've ever seen it. But probably not a movie I should have watched as a child. But I did. So there's that. But fantastic movie. Always really enjoyed it. Again, not a movie I should have been watching as a little baby fob. Maybe that's why I'm fucked up. I don't know. So there's that. And then we have Never Been Kissed with Drew Barrymore. I'm not a big rom-com guy. I'm not a big chick flick guy. But I like this movie because it's Drew Barrymore when she was making her comeback. Because Scream, that's what everybody fails to realize is Scream launched her comeback, because before that she was a drug addict, she was an alcoholic, nobody wanted to work with her, you know, she was difficult, she had a difficult life, and, you know, Scream, you know, she got sober, thank God, she got her shit together, thank God, she was in Scream, they killed her off in the first 20 minutes of the movie. And that was the big surprise, because everybody thought, oh, well, it's Drew Barrymore, she'll live and be the hero. Well, it didn't really work that way. And then after that, you know, she went on a pretty great run for a while. And this was one of the movies that was really big. And I've always liked this movie. I don't know why. It's just a good cast, too. You got David Arquette, who I love. Lily Sobieski, who I had a huge crush on back in the day. Jessica Alba before she was retarded. I think Marley Shelton is in it. I think Wendy Peppercorn. I think, yeah. Bunch of good people are in it. So there you go. Again, it doesn't matter. All right, let's do Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis, I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you are as well as you can be. And of course, we start off with the Die Hard 25th Anniversary Collection. I have another Die Hard set, but this one, there's extra features which didn't make it to that one. But I love this set. I got this at Walmart, I think for like $20. But it's got the 4 good Die Hard movies. Unfortunately, it only has the PG-13 cut of Live Free or Die Hard. The other set that I have has the unrated cut. But like I said, features didn't make it from this one to that one. Which again, it's fucking Fox when it was still Fox, and they're lazy. And then we have Hudson Hawk from... I don't know why I said it like that. My bad. Hudson Hawk. Sorry, let's try that again. Hudson Hawk. There we go. I don't know why I said it like that. My bad. This is the Kino release that has all the features from the DVD. But I love this movie. It was so ahead of its time. If it had come out a couple years later, I think it would have been better received. It was a very difficult movie to make because of Bruce Willis, let's be honest. But it's fun. It's wacky, it's goofy, it's a live-action cartoon. You know, and I love it. I don't care what anyone says. I fucking love Hudson Hawk. And then I have this other... Again, this is when Mill Creek was doing stuff. I have this because Hollywood Homicide. Which is... You know, it's funny that they did this as a double feature because both of these movies were huge flops when they came out and they're considered terrible. Hudson Hawk has gone on to have a cult following. Hollywood Homicide, not so much. But I actually kind of like that movie. That's just me. But it's just funny that they're both in a double feature and they were both huge flops when they came out. So there you go. And then we got another double feature Bruce Willis extravaganza here. Last Man Standing and Last Boy Scout. Last Boy Scout is my favorite Bruce Willis movie. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Arrow will do that. Next year is the 35th anniversary. Hopefully. Because they're working with Warner Brothers, you know, they did Ninja Turtles. Hopefully they're working on Time Cop, which the poster's over there, because that's Warner Brothers. Hopefully we get a super duper edition of Last Boy Scout, because it deserves it. I would like to see one for Last Man Standing, as far as I'm concerned, because I quite like that movie as well. But my favorite Bruce Willis movie, and then again one I've always liked, and Last Man Standing and Last Boy Scout is a Christmas movie along with Die Hard 1 and 2, so there's that. And then we have Striking Distance, which I've always enjoyed this movie. I know it got fucked with and re-edited and everything, but I like it in the form that it exists. But I'd love to see that alternate cut if it still is intact. But always really enjoyed this movie. And this was shot in Pittsburgh. I have family and friends that actually remember when this movie was being shot, which is pretty cool. And then Sudden Death as well. I remember a relative saying, oh yeah, like they shut down the city and you couldn't get downtown, and you know, you couldn't get anywhere near the arena. He goes, it was nuts. I was like, cool. And then we have 12 Monkeys from Arrow. Maybe my favorite Terry Gilliam movie. I'm not big on Terry Gilliam because he's a fucking prick. He even before he went on all his political rants, and he was just always a prick. I know everyone considers him to be one of the greatest directors ever. I really don't see it, to be honest. I like The Fisher King, but that's because of the actors. I like this because of the actors. I like Time Bandits, but that's kind of it. Terry Gilliam never really did it for me. And again, I think the guy's an asshole. He always was. But 12 Monkeys is a good movie. And parts of that were actually shot in Baltimore as well. I remember seeing that as a kid when it first came out on VHS. It was like, okay, Bruce Willis, but he dies at the end? Like, spoiler alert for a movie that's 30 years old, but why does Bruce Willis die at the end of the movie? I don't know. Anyway, which would happen a couple more times, actually, but oh well. And then we have, I don't know why they chose this artwork. They should have just used the poster, but Fifth Element, one of my all-time favorite science fiction movies. This was another film that as a kid, it was never not on TV. It was like Sci-Fi Channel ran it for a long time. it seemed like it was on every day on HBO and Cinemax. Again, this was just a movie that was constantly on television as a kid, and I always watched it, and I still love it to this day. They did re-release this in the theaters a couple years ago for the 25th anniversary, and it was awesome because it was only me and one other person in the theater, which was fantastic. Same with Die Hard. They put Die Hard back in a couple years ago for the 35th anniversary, and it was me and one other person. Now when I go to these movies, there's 20 people there, and they're not even watching the fucking movie, and this is why I don't go, because they ruined it. So there you go. Anyway, another Bruce Willis double feature. We have Mercury Rising and The Jackal. The problem is, fucking Universal, these don't have the extra features from the DVDs, so I still have the DVDs. But I like these movies. A lot of people shit on Mercury Rising, but I always dug that film. The Jackal, Bruce Willis is the best part of that movie. Sidney Poitier is great. Richard Gere with his fucking terrible accent. I was not a bummer in the war. Like, why do you have this shitty Irish accent, dude? You are fucking Irish. But I like that Bruce Willis played the bad guy. And the best part of the movie, honestly, is when Jack Black gets his arm blown off, because Jack Black's an asshole, so there you go. But there's that. Then we have Tears of the Sun. Oh, this is another movie that was a huge flop when it came out, but I've always really liked it. I do have because Sony were doing these like director's cut DVDs. This is only the theatrical version because they never put that one out on Blu-ray. And I know that Antoine Fuqua said Bruce Willis was the worst actor he ever worked with. I get it. And also, Bruce Willis got injured on this movie. He got hit in the head. I think an explosion went off too early or something, and he got hit with shrapnel. And they say, again, I don't know how true it is, but they say that possibly may be the reason why he has dementia. I don't know if that's true, but that's what they say. So, a little bit of a sad note there. Then we have Hostage. Really like this one. Another one that was a huge flop when it came out, but did not see it in the theater. I wanted to see it in the theater. I was only 13 at the time, so I couldn't go see it by myself. But as soon as it came out on DVD, I rented it. See, that was weird. So I couldn't go to see R-rated movies by myself, but I could just easily walk into Blockbuster and rent R-rated movies like it was nothing. The only time I ever got carded or asked for my ID or whatever when I was in Blockbuster was when I bought Marked for Death, the Steven Seagal movie, on DVD. It was an older lady. She's like, you know this movie's rated R. I'm like, yes. She goes, do you have your parents' permission to buy it? I said, yeah. She goes, is your mom out in the car? I said, yeah. She goes, why don't you go outside and ask your mom? And I walked outside. I said, Mom, they're asking if it's okay for me to buy a Steven Seagal movie. Yeah, okay. It's like, okay. That was the only time I could, as a kid, I could walk, as a teenager, I could walk into a Blockbuster and I could rent whatever movie I wanted and never got carded. They never asked for ID. I rented every R-rated action movie under the sun. Roadhouse, Marked for Death when they had it as a rental before they sold off their DVDs and such. What else? The Crow, the Brandon Lee. Yeah, I could just walk in and rent any R-rated movie I want, and the only time was when I wasn't even renting it, I was buying it because they were starting to sell their stock off. But anyway, the good old days. But I rented this when it first came out on DVD. I have always, again, really liked this. And then Ben Foster plays the bad guy, who I've been following his career since he was a kid, when he was on Disney Channel back in the day. So there you go. Then we have 16 Blocks, which unfortunately is the last movie that Richard Donner directed. But this is seeing a trend with these Bruce Willis movies. This was a huge flop as well. But I read an interview with Richard Donner, and he was pissed because Warner Brothers fucked around with the release date, and I think it was like the NBA playoffs or something, and nobody went and saw the movie, and apparently he was really pissed off about that. And he said that was one of the decisions that made him retire. So there you go. But I like this movie. I remember when this first came out on Cinemax, HBO, they're the same company. They used to run this quite a bit, and I would watch it on there. But solid little film, so there you go. And then this is another movie. This is a hidden gem as far as I'm concerned, but Lucky Number 11. I actually really enjoyed this film. I think this is a pretty solid. Look at that cast. I mean, Bruce Willis, Morgan Freeman, Stanley Tucci before he was retarded, Ben Kingsley, Lucy Liu. She said something dumb in the news lately, because of course she did. And Josh Hartnett. I've always liked Josh Hartnett as an actor. I know a lot of people don't, but ever since Halloween H2O back in the day, and it is H2O, it's not H20 for you fucking Gen Zers that don't know anything because you were not alive when the movie came out. It's called Halloween H20. No, you're fucking stupid. It's H2O. Watch the trailer. Anyway, but that's a good movie. I went to a buddy's house one night. We're not friends anymore for various reasons. I'm seeing a trend here. I remember people like, maybe it's you. I'm like, no, it's not me. Anyway, but we watched this one night because he's like, you ever seen it? I'm like, no. I'm like, Bruce Willis is in it, right? He goes, yeah. I'm like, let's watch it. I really like it. And then we have Red. I did not pay did not pay $34.99 for this. But I saw this in the theater opening night because same guy we were just talking about. He loves Bruce Willis. Well, he did. I don't know if he still does. I don't know if his wife allows that, which is the reason why we're not friends anymore, because his wife doesn't like me. Anyway, we wanted to go see Jackass 3, but it was packed, and it was all these fucking, geeks and stoners and the people, Johnny Knoxville, and I wasn't dealing with all that. I was like, let's go see Red, Bruce Willis. There was barely anybody in the theater, but I really like this film. Red 2, not so much, but this one I really enjoyed, and this is the Best Buy exclusive. It comes with a comic book. Yeah, it comes with a comic book. And for whatever reason, it's DVD and Blu-ray on a flip disc. I don't know why they did that. I think they were trying something, but for whatever reason, they did that. But I got this because it has the comic book in it. But again, pretty fun comic book movie. Good stuff here. Again, Red 2, not really. And then we have the Death Wish remake, which I do like, and this was the last Bruce Willis movie that I actually liked. So, because after that, I think that's when he started to get sick, but they didn't know what was going on, and then he started just doing all these direct-to-video movies just to make extra money, and Bruce Willis didn't need the money. He was very smart with his money. He invested his money very, very well. He was 10 times over, anything that he had to worry about, and, his finances are still good because they're in good hands and stuff. But he was just doing all those movies to make a couple $1 million, to just have extra money on this. Anyway. So, we're going to wrap up here in a moment. Just get this shelf done. Now we're going to get into Batman. So first up we have the Adam West movie. I do have the series. It's over with the box sets. But I always liked this. I remember having this on VHS as a kid. I remember going to Toys R Us. Because when Toys R Us was around, and I was younger, for Christmas, I would always get a gift card. One of the relatives would give me a gift card. And I remember one year for Christmas buying this on VHS. I have it on VHS, just not the original copy that I had, because when I got it on DVD, I got rid of the VHS, because at the time, I wasn't collecting VHS hardcore, or I don't collect it hardcore anymore, but I wasn't really collecting VHS at the time. So, but this is a great edition. It's got a bunch of extras on here, but this is fun. I love the Adam West Batman. Sue me. And once again, this is when Warner Brothers actually gave a fuck about physical media. This is the Diamond Lux version of Batman 89, because it's got a 4K transfer and it's got some new extra features, but need I say more? They did Gremlins. I have the Gremlins release of this. I don't know which other ones they did, but they were, they were doing that for a little bit before 4K came out, and then they just stopped doing it. And I don't think they released many movies in that lineup. Then we got this really nice steelbook of Batman Returns. I love that because that was the shot in the trailer when it was the Batman logo and the snow was blowing off of that, and I always thought that was badass. And then that was the poster, which I love that. I would love to get that poster and get it signed by all three people, just saying. Not that would ever happen, but to get that original theatrical one sheet signed by all three of them would be pretty fucking cool, just saying. And then we have my favorite live action Batman movie, Batman Forever, release the Schumacher cut. Can't go wrong with Batman Forever as far as I'm concerned. And then we have Batman and Robin, which is not the worst Batman movie ever made, contrary to what people might say. But it is what it is. You know, I know it's become the butt of every joke and everything, but, you know, Arnold was perfect as Mr. Freeze. I don't care what anyone says. Poor Chris O'Donnell, that guy got fucked over when he didn't need to. It's got some good practical effects. You know, it's got some stuff I like in it. It was, as a kid, I loved it because I actually saw it in the theater as a kid when it first came out. And I had it on VHS, and I would watch it non-stop as a kid. That and Batman Forever, because those were the only two that I had on. No, not true. I had Batman 89. The only one I didn't have was Batman Returns on VHS. But I used to watch the ever-living shit out of it because it was Arnold, and Arnold was my guy as a kid. Well, one of my guys as a kid. But yeah, it is what it is. And then we have Batman Begins, which I do like the movie overall, but I hated what it led to. And the stupid fucking cancer voice. Like, that's not scary. I don't know why everybody thought that was the best and everything. And then we have The Dark Knight, which I do like The Dark Knight, but, you know, after this came out, every movie had to be like The Dark Knight. It wasn't just superhero movies. And then Avengers came out, and then everything had to be like Avengers. And then Guardians came out, and everything had to be like Guardians. You understand what I'm saying? So there you go. And then, last but not least for this part, we have the complete Batman animated series from the 90s, one of the greatest cartoons ever. This Blu-ray looks amazing. I was so excited when this came out, and it does have the movies with it as well. It has Mask of the Phantasm and Mr. Sub-Zero. So it has the... I don't know why it doesn't have Mystery of the Batwoman, because that's set in the same universe. I just don't know why that wasn't included in this set, but that does have a Blu-ray. But I'm... The first one they did had the Funko Pop in it. People lost their fucking minds on that box set. I got this one because it was a little bit cheaper, and I love that artwork. Like, that's artwork from the series. Like, that's an original cell that they had. Like, the rest of the artwork on here. This is stuff that was for the series. It wasn't newly commissioned artwork or anything. And I really like the presentation on here. So again, that's another actual shot from the show that they did, not let's just do new artwork. No, this is stuff that already existed, which is cool. The disc could use a little bit better, but of course they got super fucking lazy on disc art, as we all know. And then there's the second case. So there's that. And then, like I said, I think it... Yeah, I thought so. I'll show you in a second, but I just wanted to double check. Well, no, not true. So, for the movies, Warner Archive put these out. These are press discs, so they're not the burn on demand. But they use the same logo because they just got cheap. But yeah, that's Sub-Zero. That's a press disc. That's not a made on demand. And then there's Mask of the Phantasm. So I do want to get the 4K of Mask of the Phantasm because it actually had extra features on it. The one in here doesn't have any extra features because, again, they were just fucking lazy. And then you get a nice little booklet. You know, shit. I keep dropping everything. Fucking arm. It sucks having nerve damage. And it just has the breakdown on there. And it's weird because this has all the extra features. The Superman cartoon from the 90s, they were just too fucking lazy to put the, you know, the commentaries on the Blu-ray, which is why I still have them on DVD. So there you go. Anyway, that's part 2. So we knocked out the top shelf. In part 3, we'll start with Charles Bronson, and then we'll work all in there and see where we go from there. So anyway, we'll talk to you on the next one. Later.